Good evening, everybody. So, there we are. There we should be. Everything is running okay? Okay. So, tonight, I'm going to test out a new specialization, the Witch Doctor. Don't know if it's gonna be good or not, but we're going to do our usual things. Hi, Joe! Try out the new spec and build a team according to that. I felt like Witch Doctor sounded quite fun, because it seems to utilize confusion effects quite hard. And yeah, let's try that. So, wardrobe. I want the Witch Doctor outfit. There we go. Good. First, we will leave our creatures here. Hey Zay, welcome. Now, let's check out the perks. I haven't looked into this character class whatsoever. As far as I remember, it's one of the newer ones, which have been implemented with the last update. Enemies have a 100% greater chance to deal critical damage to their allies. At the start of battle, your creatures gain secret stuff. Secret stuff. A random enemy attacks one of its allies for 200% damage. This spell is a boost spell. Don't you worry, Zay. I hope your exams went fine. Sounds pretty stressful, man. 6 exams in 2 weeks. That's more than that. There must have been one day where you had at least 2 in a day. Ugh. Always hated these phases. Bewitch. After an enemy attacks one of its allies, your creatures gain a random buff. Enemies cannot dodge attacks from their allies. Enemies take more damage from their allies. Enemies with confused have a chance to lower their allies' stats instead of increasing them. That's so brutal. Last time I had something like that was when I was doing my business degree. Horrible times. Confused creatures have a 50% chance to attack or cast harmful spells on their allies. When an enemy attacks one of its allies, its highest stat is used to determine the damage dealt. Cool. Hi, Siralim, welcome. Enemies always have cursed. Okay. Enemies take additional damage equal to % of the damage they've taken from their allies. After an enemy takes damage from an ally, they are afflicted with blind and confused. Now we're talking business. Enemies with confused have a chance to afflict allies with a debuff instead of a buff. Hi, Hyorin. Confused creatures have a 50% chance to attack or cast. No, that's just a general. The dev made a general tooltip for all these conditions, so you don't have to do that on your own anymore. That's pretty nice. Terrorize. After an enemy attacks one of its allies, it afflicts the target with a random debuff. After your creatures attack, they have a chance to cast mind control on the target. Ooh, that's nice. So we can also use that. Creatures gain doppelganger. Ooh, nice. It's a double turn thing. When an enemy casts a spell on one of its allies, its highest stat is used to determine the potency of a spell. Okay. I think I should have enough points to just learn everything. I hope. Let's see. Doppelganger gives you a chance to get another turn after your turn. Here, 25% chance to take an extra turn. That's quite spicy if you ask me. Okay, so now we have to choose for creatures, or look for creatures that are utilizing confusion as much as possible. So let's see. Let's see if Smurf's app is helping us in some way here. Description, confusion. Let's see if that works out. Alright, I need to do it myself. Should wisps use that kind of status effect? Hi, Razul. I don't know. Wisps have... No, they're working around other mechanisms here. I really got no clue which race is good with confusion and such. Let's see if the booze creatures do have something like that. The Woodka. Let's see. These are the... Oh, these are creatures, okay. 69k channel points. Indeed, that's nice. So... let's see if there's anything. The Scotchpian. I love these creatures. Their names are so ridiculous. But doesn't look like there's anything usable here. You're an adult, you promise? Aw, I'm disappointed. I did what I could in my life to avoid being too a grown-up. Just as much as needed. And as little as possible. So, let's see. I'd like something that's just able to inflict confusion as much as possible. But on the other side, it seems like a lot of things would just work. Because we even get a spell that enables me to let the enemies fling attacks on each other, so... But let's see if there's anything I like. Enemies cannot be invisible. What a nice trait. Alright. Problem is I can't remember any creature that had any meaningful interaction with confusion or something like that. So we have to really think hard here. Are there minions that can create minions? Yeah, there's minions work in this game like enchantments that get attached to the creatures that have the minion, and then they do something for them. Yeah, well, the Yetis are going to be used somewhere else, I guess. Still haven't made up my mind what kind of creature type would be really good here. I mean, something with automatic casts seems to be quite cool. I don't know. Since we have these nice spells that just revolve around enemies attacking each other. Random debuffs. Well, I do have a automatic effect that gives enemies confusions and such. So let's check out the perks one more time. We do automatically... So enemies are always cursed. They take damage whenever they attack. Okay. After an enemy takes damage from an ally, they are afflicted with blind. Enemies with confused have a chance. After an enemy attacks one of its allies, it afflicts. So basically, our goal has to be... So we get a chance to cast something which lets enemies attack each other whenever we attack. And we have an effect that gives us a spell which lets enemies attack each other. Yeah, number of attacks sounds really good, and let's check out if there are any spells which do the same thing already. I could imagine that the purple spells could be our friends here, but this sounds like a build where the number of attacks is important, Razul. I agree with that. totally agree with that idea. But let's check it. I vaguely remembered that there was a skill that, a spell that worked like everybody attacks each other. No, that was a trait. Oh, well, let's just see through it. I'm getting ahead of myself here again. So each enemy takes a chance. No. Mind crunch. Mind control. Okay, that's exactly the spell we can trigger when we attack. Okay. Red or black? Well, Jorn, we're going to go through the spells here, because I kind of feel like this formation is going to be defined more about other things than just the creatures alone. Gravity, fulmination, ethereal knives. Drains, Dispel, Dense Fog, Crystal Spears, Counterspell, Confusion. Each enemy has a 50% chance to be afflicted with Confused. Now that's one we should definitely get our hands on a couple of times, at least 3 of them. Well, I didn't notice too many changes yet, Hjorin. Hi, Cognito! So nice to see ya. I mainly noticed a few elements that have been implemented into the maps, and I noticed the new character classes that I unlocked. Black Ice. Well, there are so many good spells in that game, Rajul. Banish. So, Voe got nerfed, yeah. Seen it for the first time? Yeah, it's a little bit of a niche game, but for people who love to tinker around with lots of detailed decisions, it's a blast. I think you could really like that game too. Judging from what I've seen so far from your love to tinker around with lots of things, I think this game is right up your alley. So, let's see if we can do something here. I mean, I'm quite happy that I already found a spell which does inflict confusion on our enemies. That's a good thing. Certain stats and effects don't stack with each other anymore. I haven't checked it out in detail, so... I mean, there are so many moving elements in this game that it's really hard to keep track of all the things. Night Sword, Necromantic Armor, Morph Death, Misery. Well, it's just a single target thing. Enemies with Cursed attack their allies at random. Wonderful. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Perfect. Let's craft it a couple of times, because everybody starts the fight as Cursed. Awesome. Now... I love it how there's a tool for every idea in this game. No, we don't need to afflict, or do we need to... Well, I'm gonna recraft that damnation thing. Yeah, that's of course the case too, Rosrul. Absolute Corruption. Warp Reality. Target takes a small amount of damage and is afflicted with Confused. Well, why take the small version when we can take a AoE version that just afflicts everybody with confusion? It's just a downgrade. Hyvenmannen. Well, it was a little bit of a stressful day, but beyond that, it was all fine. just felt quite pumped out, so that I decided to go for something turn-based tonight. Alright, so... I don't know. So we had now 2 effects there. I think I want that Flood of Darkness 6 times. Or, well, 4 times are enough. Well, I think the slimes do both, Joran. I think they afflict both things at once. Here. Concoctions. Disarmed. No, it's just the disarmed mechanic on them. Vulnerable was the powerhouse thing of the abominations, if I remember correctly. Yeah. They are all about vulnerability. Okay, so we need stuff that's good at casting and good at attacking several times, basically. Shouldn't be that hard. Let's first look at our own menagerie. Maybe I have creatures already that do the trick. Remove artifacts from all creatures and remove spell gems from all creatures. Now, let's see what we got here. Just looking for the fused ones, because unfused ones are not that interesting. Let's say stat manipulator combo we got here. Here was playing around with that stuff. But I don't think that these are working out. Hi, Yoga! Oh man, good luck with that stuff. I hope it's going to be fine. A Herbling. Okay. Leech, Corpse Explosion, Scourge Mummy. Well, this thing is only good at inflicting cursed. Math tests are pretty hard. Make sure that you're relaxed and to get enough sugar tomorrow, so your brain has something to work with. It's the only things I can think of that might be helpful. Yeah, I don't really have any considerable good option for these. Leech is lifesteal, yeah. Mending is regeneration, correct. So, let's see. We need things that just attack a lot. Hi Pop, welcome. Wasn't the Centaur bunch at this, I took my MCAT, I ate 7 bananas and almost a box of crackers. Correct, Rizul, correct. This is a combo I like to use personally quite a lot. It's cheap sustain, you know. Thanks, Yoga, and good luck. So, I really consider going for a singular race and some, which has a lot of attack chances. Probably that's something to go for. Yes, that's all. Also possible result. I think I already got a specialization that works around these effects. Just can't remember what the name was. I think the Warden. Yeah, I think the Warden was revolving around that. Yeah. So, yeah, I got a stream even uploaded for that, in case you're interested. Your creatures adjacent to this creature attack 2 additional times. Okay. Interesting, but not really convincing me, especially since I have that trait on a weapon right now. I know that. Right. So So Stack Spirit. Spell Gem Manipulators, not that interesting. The spirits are all about healing. Specters are based around stat decay on the enemies. Spark Tails. No, I need something that just attacks a ton. I think I'm going to roll with the Grimoires, possibly. The Grimoires are really good at spellcasting, and I think that might be a good chance to go for. Probably should think about this one here, though. But I think my perk is doing exactly the thing. I'm not sure if the curse does stick or not. How many minions? As many as you... There are a certain amount of different minion types, and beyond that, it's just a matter of how good you pull it off, because every turn, every minion has a chance to dissipate. So... Berserk, I don't know what that was again. I think it was more damage and crits, or higher crit chance, something like that. I need to check it out. Hey Ash, nice to see you, man. So... Really looking forward to get into the deeper levels of the game sooner or later. I mean, I am fiddling around with way too many formations. If I just would want to go for progression, I should do differently. Trait makes a creature gain 50%. Yeah, that's a spirit. That's a spirit. I should have one. Ooh. You have a nether gem with that one. Neat. No, it's also not interesting. Reapers. No. Priests are definitely not what I'm looking for. Extra spellcast for debuffs on himself. Pitworm. Nah. Pillwiz are all around bleeding. Phoenixes are all around resurrecting. So that's possibly one of the hardest formations I've tried to build around yet. That's rebirth bonuses on the Osanes. Cultists. Now let's check this out. Free magic missile on manual spellcast. After this creature casts a sorcery spell, charge gain. Random debuff spreading. Okay, when an ally dies, attacks 4 random enemies. This is going into the correct direction, but the amount of damage each of these creatures. Now, 1 additional time attacking. Let's just take that for now. No! Oh man, I forgot to remember the page I was on. This game should really start to keep you on the page where you were when you summoned something. Ugh. So, Let's see, the mummies are revolving around the cursed trait, which is a permanent debuff we got on our enemies. Your creatures have 20% more attack and intelligence for each enemy that is afflicted with curse. Definitely gonna want that. Because, like I said, we have endless resources of curses here. Now where were the mummies there? Creep mummy. Okay. Mogwai, no thanks. Mites. Minotaurs. Well, nothing with multiple attacks though, sadly. Masochists. Debuff based. Manticore. Maniacs, these are around suiciding. Let's see, liches. Well, wasn't that spell that made cursed enemies? Yes. That's exactly what I want to have. I got this one spell which makes enemies attack each other when they are cursed, and the fact that I can cast death spells several times on that critter. The cost is that the spells are 50% less powerful. I don't care whatsoever about that. Nothing. Now, lepers, let's see. Don't think that there's something I want to have here. The leeches. Colas around health stuffs. Inquisitors. Alright, have fun with that Minecraft, my man. So these are nature spellcasters, imlings. I never wrapped my head around these and I don't want to start tonight. So hunters are not really attacking several times, so I'm not interested at all. Direwolves are minion masters in a way. Now, that's something we want to have. Confusion chance. Page 16 we are at. This time I remembered it. When an enemy attacks one of your creatures, its target is chosen. Okay, blinded. Now, let's check out the grimoires. Your grimoires cast spells one additional time. Yes, please. Alright, so we want that runic grimoire for the arcane buff, because that's just a cheap way of getting free spellcasts. And now I did forget it again. So my grimoires cast spells additional times. Okay. So we should fuse creatures into the grimoires then. So let's start with this guy, and let's say we're going to fuse that with the Harpy Screamer. Yeah, why not? And the Hidden Grimoire fuses with... Let's see. Nyx Guardian needs to be as he is, but the Doom Mummy is just not important that we have that as a autonomous creature. Okay, now we got this situation like that. Alright. Fusing creatures. You fuse two creatures into each other, and then you have one creature that has two traits. Like, you see those traits here, that this block Flesh Rot is a trait, and this way you can effectively double the amount of traits you can bring into your formation. And then you can also forge traits onto weapons that your creatures are wielding, bringing the maximum amount of traits in your formation up to 18. Exactly, Rajul. That's how you could do it if you want to. So we're going to... Well, let's look it up. The Fated Grimoire somehow sounds interesting to me, but I don't know. Your Grimoire creatures share copies of the first two equipped spell gems with each other. Yeah, it's way too many combo possibilities. I made a video about the fusing mechanics, so if you're interested. Gorgons. So maybe I'll come back to the Grimoires later, but now I want to check out. This creature attacks and casts spells one additional time. Wonderful. Just my cup of tea. That's exactly the kind of creature we want to have here. Giants, I strongly doubt that there's something I want to have. Ghouls are all around speed. Gargoyles are odd spellcasty thingies. Let's see, maybe there's something, but no. Also, minions work differently in this game than you might think at the beginning. Like, minions are only another buff that has a certain effect, basically. So probably I want to bring something for sustain later down the road, but well, let's see. Dryads. Oh, no. Dragons. No, that's a strategy that doesn't really work here. Summoned minions are only attached to the creatures, and they don't even can get targeted by the enemies. That's a little bit different in this game compared to all other games I've played so far, yeah. Diabolics, I don't want that. Devils. Masters. Crusaders. Well, no. Crunchers are all about sealing enemy spellcasts. Cockatrice. Well. Clutchers. Punish enemies for dodging. Cerberus. Centaur. After an enemy casts a spell... Okay, after this creature is attacked, it attacks. After this creature attacks, it has a 25% chance to continue attacking the target for each debuff it has. Alright, page 6. I'm gonna fuse that into one of my critters. Gonna fuse that into the Nyx guy. So we have more chances of multiple attacks here. Or wait a sec, that Nyx guy is a spellcaster, and the Centaur is... okay. I'm not too happy with either option, but whatever. Okay, so there's now one slot left, basically. But still trade slots left. I don't plan on filling the trade slots directly, but... yeah, perfect. When this creature attacks, it attacks an additional number of times equal to the number of spells or creatures casted. Oh yeah, that's gonna be so good. That's exactly the kind of stuff we can use here. Let's fuse that into the War Golem. Or... let's see... yeah. In case you're wondering what I'm doing here, the critters have a kind of character which defines if they are either which bonus attribute they have and which penalty attribute they have, and you keep these bonuses according to the parent. So the parent is the first one you fuse into. Okay then, so there's only one more critter to go. Let's check out, what do I have here? My creatures start with Arcane, and my Grimoires cast additional times. Okay. After an enemy is killed, this creature attacks now. No. We're good here. That was really good. Carnages are way too much about killing enemies themselves. Well, yeah, I'm thinking so too, Rajul, but let's see. We can do that with spells too. But for now, I think I'll just pick something up I already got, which I already got. And that's... where is the good guy? There we go. Just something which spreads mending and damage reduction at the same time. Nothing too special, but quite good when you don't know what you're supposed to take. Just pick something with defenses and you're good to go. Alrighty, now a problem there is that our creatures can only equip spell gems that are according to their element, so we're going to have to work around that. So enemies with cursed attack their allies at random. Let's see. Let's pick up a resurrection spell here as well, because that's always nice. And damnation, just in case that something goes bad here. Okay, we need one Flood of Darkness turned into Chaos. Let's upgrade that first to give it spell property slots. And let's enchant that. Class swap Chaos. Let's just do it like that. Here goes another Flood of Darkness. Probably gonna go for also a slot of Resurrection, and yeah, why not Vampirism? We got what we got, right? Okay, so the other thing we had in mind was a... what was that spell again? Confusion here. I want to upgrade these as well. So these guys are, these two are fighters. I'm going to utilize the end as a spellcaster too. So let's see, we have to use our, okay, one of them has to be turned into a chaos gem. Not that one, that one. Whoops, I didn't want to enchant here. Chaos, I said. Alright, so now we got Confusion and Flood of Darkness, which are the main spells we are going to use. And now we have to upgrade. Let's upgrade them all at least to some point. Right, and let's enchant these. Well, I often don't mingle around with spells too much because I just, due to all these series I do way too many builds, and therefore I often skip the spell casts out of laziness, to be quite honest. Okay, so we have now Flood of Darkness on everybody here. So these guys are all supposed to be spell casting in combat. These should be attacking. Okay. Now, the real interesting part is that I don't really need to equip any artifacts which increase intelligence or something like that, because I deal no damage on my own. So we're going to equip helmets here. Probably something for speed. These guys get the swords. So I got that one with, yeah. This is the sword which makes adjacent and critters attack several times more, and the one with rebirth on damage. Okay. Yeah. Relatable, Jorn. I would actually do the same if I weren't playing around with so many different things here, but you know. Okay, let's go. Let's see how good this works out. I have no clue how silly it is, but we're going to check it out. Okay, now enemies are confused, and let's cast Flood of Darkness. Okay, that's actually working quite insane. The only thing that's not working is that enemies are the last man standing, basically, is a problem. Oh yeah, secret stuff, we also have that. Okay, but basically we're annihilating these guys right from the bat. Just the damage seems to be quite low. I don't know. Alright, we had a real quick death on our folks here. But that's just working out insanely good, gotta say. Jeez. Okay, I think that's powerful. A little bit uncontrollable, gotta say. Alright, here's the creatures we have to subdue. Okay. Seems like the enemy Satyr Guardian had a lot of things going on for himself. Counter attacks and such. Yeah, and then we're just going to smack them. But why are they dealing that little damage? I mean, okay, that artifact is really weak. I get it. We need more powerful artifacts here. Okay. Well, they're both quite wrong statted, but well, okay. This is fun though, to get enemies attack each other like crazy. There we go. And as far as I see, it's working way better than the enemies are able to tank it. Okay. That's fun. That's really fun. I mean, wow. I didn't expect it to be that effective. But with the multicast on that Flood of Darkness spell, I think that's just insanely powerful. Oops. So definitely gonna try some progression with that build now. Oh, there's the slate. I wouldn't really like to use that build for farming because I have to configure too much manually, if you get my idea. Like some, or well, it's just a matter of luck if the last duo is annihilating each other. Yeah. So basically we only have to act if there's one critter left. But apart from that I can just spam E. Cool. Wow. What's really impressing me on that build is that I get the feeling that it's going to be very hard for the enemies to break out of that unless they are completely immune against debuffs. I think that's going to be one major weakness of this build. Like, debuff resistance should break that whole idea. Okay. We should definitely try to take on stronger targets here, because these guys are definitely no match. Abyssal Phylactery. This creature attacks and casts spells 3 additional times. Wow, that's great. Well, I didn't have found any lately, honestly. Oh, prophecies? Only one line. It's been a while since the last one that I can remember. The last thing I can remember was me getting the second costume for the Inquisitor, but that's a reward for realm quests and no drop. But that's the only thing that's stuck in my mind. Okay, nice. But let's check out what kind of skins I actually got. It's a nice question, actually. So, skins. We got one Mimic skin, we got one Azura skin, one Lich skin, Manticore, Sanctus, and Clutcher. I could apply these to some of my creatures, actually. So, I only got one Lich, and I like the Scrooge one more. Alright. Why can't I apply that one to the Centaur? Or is it already applied? Okay. Now, Oh, that's something I wanted to change while I'm here. This artifact is not strong enough. We need something with more stat buffs. More attack and speed, yeah, I like that. The star means that I can apply that skin to something in my party, I thought. It marked which kind of creature is a worthy candidate for that one. Crunchers like to eat spell gems. You don't say. Jeez, that's so powerful. Okay. Works out quite good.
Very personal.
Thank you so much, Joe. Look at that, Jorn. You got a new subscription. So, extra damage for each sealed spell gem. Okay. Oh my god, Jorn is writing gibberish. Always find that this language is so funny to read. It's Dutch, isn't it? There we go. Wow. That's speed, though. What type of game this is? Well, it is a monster catching RPG, battle RPG thing. It's very sandboxy, you know. My god. What have I done? So, turns out we really don't need any sustain. So we could somewhat replace that end with something else, I guess. I do like the speed increase on my attacker. So this way we get a auto attack after the first Flood of Darkness cast, which is quite often enough to just tackle down everybody else. So if there's only one man standing, there's a decent chance that... And Vindmanen, the thing is, the game is very feature heavy. Like, there's so much to grind. You can level up minions, you can collect... Basically everything you fight against is something you can put into your team. You can grind materials to craft items, you can grind skins, you can grind collectible cards which give you more bonuses. You can grind up heavenly weapons, which you can attach to your minions to make them even stronger. This is basically part 4 of a series of well, games that was... there was Siralim 1, 2, and 3, and Siralim Ultimate merges all the past features into one massive game. And it's definitely one early access game I strongly can recommend if you are into this kind of genre. You need to be enjoying theory crafting a lot. Otherwise you're not really enjoying your time too much with that game. Well, this save file has almost 200 hours already, and I'm only scratching the surface. I haven't unlocked all features of the game yet. Gotta say, about 50 hours were AFK time though, to be fair. When I just left the game in the background. One tip for farming cards. Yeah, I tried to use the candle and it keeps trolling me. But the candle got upgraded with the last patch. Did you notice that the candle now tries to spawn the minions, the monsters, closer to yourself? I love to use the candle as well to try to farm up cards, but I was notoriously unlucky so far. Okay, let's check out the Nether God or whatever. It's called Vexed. Okay. Nether Boss was the name. So Let's check out his skills. At the start of this creature's turn, it steals stats from each enemy. Okay. Yeah, the assassination thingies, they are really, really interesting. Because this way you can stack up traits that you want to have way more easily. Okay. Let's go for another Flood of Darkness. So good. That was supposed to be a really hard fight. Not really noticed anything about that. Alright, perfect. I like that Witch Doctor so far. And the best thing about this strategy is, since it's utilizing the enemies attacking each other... Oh, that's probably gonna be not working so good. I should have brought a Dispel. Since it's utilizing the enemy's strength against themselves, this should work on realm instabilities quite well too. Oh, you have a 4-card set already? Nice. I haven't focused into that topic yet too much. Oh man, friggin' Mimics, always so tanky. But only until their buffs expire. Wow. That Centaur is really kicking enemies' butts. Okay, well, the end does do something for the squad, and that's sustain, but I'm pretty sure we could fix that sustain issue just with other spell gems quite easily. Did I make an offering? Yes, good. So you see here, these guys here, I already got an S rating on them. And they still haven't given me the cards. Ah, there was the teleporter. For card farming, though, I try to use builds that are just cookie cutter, where I can act first and throw a big nuke over the enemy team and don't even have to use my brain on that. It's my favorite way. No, all monsters have a card. You can acquire a card for every monster as far as I know. But maybe you are right about that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm... But, well, I don't think so. The numbers here are pretty... No, I think it's... I think there's a card for every monster. I only got these yet, in effect. We have 5% less damage from attacks. So all these cards give your creatures some general buffs. And the deeper you go, the more you need them. Alright. We lost one of ours. It's not that much of an issue. That's why I brought the Resurrects. Exactly for that kind of scenario. Well, random chances are sometimes quite annoying to deal with. I don't know which card set it is. Somebody told me a while ago, Krunsk, but I can't remember anymore. There was a certain creature type that gave extra resources when you killed them, but, well... Whites give extra granite, I see. Fun. Well, these critters are quite resilient. I should equip some single target nukes on top of what I have. Because this build is quite notorious at leaving one designated survivor. And I think some single target nuke spells would alleviate that problem quite nicely. Alrighty, sleep well, Cognito. It was nice to see you tonight. Low magic age, or rings a bell. Rings a bell. Minotaurs give extra brimstone? I see. Griffon gives bonus to everything. Ah, okay. Thanks for sharing. I hope I can remember. D&D type of game. Yeah. I have that note attached in my memory to as something I might want to check out. Okay. Crusaders. Let's see what we get there. Yeah, I definitely want to have one spell to nuke away stragglers. Whoops. I want to check out what this does. But, well, let's see. Shouldn't I... Here. Sigil of the Crusader. There. Crusaders start battles with Shelled. Okay. No problem, Winman. I still understand you. Well, a lot of promising games are in early access these days. It's always hard for me to judge if or when these games turn hot, but, well, after all, that's my job. Thanks for pointing that one out. In general, if you want to see a game featured, the easiest way to do that is to just toss a copy at me and I will do a feature sooner or later. That's something I like to do. Okay, let's just keep diving downwards. I mean, we're that strong. What's an old Libram looking like? Alright. I didn't expect this to be that powerful. So, Wicked Shiv. When this creature deals damage, deals between 50 and 250%. That's a good thing. Between 50 and 250% gives you a higher chance of achieving a higher than average damage than it is. Then you have a chance to receive a lower than average damage. Whoops! Should have looked at this question. So, I think it's one of those realms where I just need to smack random enemies. Oh, we're scorned. We're silenced? No, we're scorned. Okay. There we go. Good lord, what have I done? I love it so far. Yeah, every enemy squad I take down gives me an old Libram. Still don't really want to go for the divination candle here. That's where I love my astrologist or astrologer. That's a really slick build that just has a instant action at the beginning and nukes the enemy team with 2 AoE spells in a row. Usually enough to take down everybody. It's lovely. Apis. Last couple of days I had lots of fun with Legend of Keepers. Today I recorded some episodes with the Enchantress, so finally got a chance to dip into that class. So much fun. So much fun. It's really cool. Legend of Keepers is a little bit easy to begin with, but if you go for the higher challenge levels, it grows in challenge, and also I really like that style of the game a lot. Don't know if Siralim is still hanging around, but if so, you are absolutely right with when you said like I will get used to the gameplay and find it less stressful. I'm totally digging it now. Okay, well. Nice. Really want to start pimping my castle soon too. I'm finding so many decoration items lately. Probably should start and make my castle look a little bit different every time I stream. That should be fun, don't you agree? So did we already uncover a teleporter? Not really, not really. Dang. I wonder if this one will get nerfed. I feel like these extreme damage upgrades that come with this class influencing the enemy's damage when they are attacking each other. I don't know, it feels like this is totally off-grid, but well, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I have no clue about the actual late game of Siralim so far. I only know that I'm barely scraping the mid-game by now, which is kind of sick because I feel like I'm already quite deep in, but yeah, well, I'm not. Striped coins inside breakable objects, okay. You're nerfed. You're salty that your build got nerfed? Well, I agree. I can totally understand that. It's always totally annoying when you have found a good idea. I mean, is it like broken nerfed, or is it just no longer fun nerfed, or is it still playable? But I mean, I did play with the Inquisitor who was utilizing the woe as well, and it really worked out quite decent. Oh, friggin' hay fever. My nose is tingling the whole time. There we go. Wisp Master, okay. Now that's a little bit more tricky. Seems like we're actually not kicking them down just like that. Let's go for a minor resurrection just in case. Wisps are really good at preventing damage from getting applied to them. Just taking so little damage, and we're just dealing that little damage to him. What's this thing? Why is he so... Ah, because he has a sick-ass shield. I see. Well, we're going to take it down. And that's where the end is actually quite useful. Why are we not attacking that often? What's up with that? Attack interrupted. Stomp. That's annoying. Okay, he has a chance to avoid damage and a chance to get shelled. Man, that's annoying. Defense overkill. Wow, what a chungus. And it seems like we're not really penetrating the defense at all. Oh, you know what? I'm just forfeiting this. This is just annoying. And this brings me to the point. No, it's not really the defense thing. It was the combination of a buff he had that gave him extra defenses. He had a pretty nice shield on that. And I think there was a trait that also reduced the damage. He had a sick combo of effects that were damage reducing there. Not only the defense. It was more than that, but... annoying. Super annoying. Now, I wanted to... Let's see. We really don't need the domination thing. So we got... Yeah, well, I think that was just a lesson about give your creatures a nuke. You know? I should have just brought a nuke. So we got death, chaos, and nature. Let's see, is there even a death nuke? I don't know. I mean, a defense stripper would have been all we needed there. Let's see. Target takes a massive amount of damage. That's what I'm looking for. And let's take another one of those. I just want a fix, a quick fix here. Her creatures gain a massive amount of attack. Yeah, what about that? I mean, that's not directly a nuke, but... this solves the problem too. Let's see... That Wisp somehow attached to itself a couple of other traits that didn't that weren't originating on himself there. So we had one nature critter. Let's see. Your creatures gain a moderate amount of attack. Meteor shower. Target and the caster take a devastating amount of damage. Well, I need something single target. Cyclone Strike, yeah. This can be used as an AoE and as a single target. That's perfect. So, just realized that I don't want to give this guy anything with damage. We're just going to attach a Dispel to this one because his damage is lower due to his traiting. Let's do something like that. Ooh, let's see. Based on... okay, never mind. Alright, that should work out better now. But I'm gonna fetch myself some drink. I'm gonna be right back. Well, Ash is at least present enough to spam the tea time. Okay, nice. Let's give it another try. Pretty sure that this should have solved the problem completely. Now I can buff up the attack of my creatures if I ever run into that kind of situation again, and spam massive amounts of damage on that guy. It was just my own laziness that kicked my butt there. Okay. This is just insane. Well, I'm going to check out a Realm Instability next. Because somehow I feel like this should be worth checking out. So, according to, regarding your question here, and now that I think about it, I haven't found a single card since I was playing with the new patch. No. Can't remember one. Maybe my memory is wrong there, though. Because it's quite difficult to say, but I can't remember any. So there are now only 2 more classes for me left to unlock. And I can't unlock them until I have progressed deeper until I got these Gate of the Gods thingies. No clue what's up ahead of me regarding to that. There's just, whenever I think I have everything discovered here, the game opens up yet another layer. Well, this will end at some point, but this is one massive early access version of a game, gotta say. Oh, God Shrine? Oh, I have already donated, okay. So we're still looking for the local brownie master, okay. How? Well, they're dealing quite a lot of damage on us, so... And now they're all invisible. Okay. So let's go for a confusion spell. And a cyclone strike. No, we can't. Okay. There we go. Ah, they were spamming meteor showers on me. That's what happened there. Oops. Wrong button. Okay. Well, lucky streaks do happen. Your brownies attack one additional time for each brownie fighting on your side. Okay, I noticed. I noticed. Morph Chaos belongs to Chaos. What a difficult question. Alrighty. So, where was the teleporter again? Up there, okay. So, let's try a crazy... Ah, well, let's just try it. Will go wrong, but maybe it doesn't, who knows. Who knows if it will go wrong or not. So, enemies are going crazy on us. Bajillions of attacks are going onto the enemy squad. So far my plan plays out. So they're still just attacking each other. It's just the resolve of my one action there. It's sick. Alright, let's go for a resurrection here. Okay, I need something more powerful here, I think. If I want to go for such things. Okay. So, one more Flood of Darkness. Okay, so there's only one guy left. Let's see. Well, that Finger of Death was not really the massive damage I was hoping for. So what's up with that guy? At the start of this creature's turn, the creature gains 3 random buffs. Okay. Let's start resurrecting our folks. I mean, this guy is only provoking, so... we can go for a Savage Raw. Now we're on the mending trip again, so we're actually winning it right now. Let's do another Savage Raw. This guy's dodging so much, it's insane. So Finger of Death is definitely not doing the massive damage I got. Got promised there. So how much defense does this guy have? 12k. Well, he's still blocking spells somehow, like Virtue of Patience. Protected on damage. It's just repelling. He has a chance to ignore damage from spells, and here that's protection there. Okay, but I got an idea what we can do. It's just a super annoying enemy. Wait a sec, didn't I dispel there? Where did the dispel go? Chance to kill per turn taken. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Because that dodge rating is just insane. Agile, have additional independent chance to dodge attacks. This is going to totally crazy on this guy. So here we go. I mean, why is he still dodging that much? I mean, I buff stripped him there. My god. I mean, 28k defense by now? Creatures take 1% less damage for every 1%. Yeah, okay, that's just bollocks. Can't forget that. Try that nevertheless one more time, because that was not really a... they had a massive extra chance to dodge on the instability. Now it takes, now it makes sense. Resurrect on death, I don't want that. Well, let's try it one more time, but I'm pretty sure that we're pretty far away from making it here, but I still want to try. Thing is, highest instabilities just yield so massive rewards for a fight you win that it's almost always worth trying to go for it. If you have only the slightest chance of succeeding at that, I'd say give it a try, because it's just that strong. But they're not really good at killing each other anymore, but, well, okay. It just looks a lot more dangerous, but it actually works out quite well. Better than I thought, actually. Let's wait for the first chest. Oh boy. We're in for a treat here. Nemesis creature. Not sure if I'm able to take that down. Yeah, my spell gems are sealed. Dang it. Nah, not that easily. I had one formation that plowed through the realm instabilities like crazy. But that's okay. That's something for another day. Just wanted to check if more powerful monsters just kill each other quicker, basically. Okay, citizens. I think a lower instability shouldn't be that problematic, though. But then again, lower instabilities are not really that rewarding, aren't they? Okay. So let's check out the local master again. I like that build for sure. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun to play. Just wonder how I could play it even better. Which creatures would be a good fit for that, because I feel like the end is really not that fitting, and if you check this one out, I got a free trade slot on the Lich. So there's a lot of improvement options there. Valkyrie Master, let's go. So I'm open for different ideas here, if you guys have any. Alright, that was rank 10. Did I already find the teleporter? Not really, no. But there's a chest I want to grab. I do enjoy the Goblet of Trials a lot for giving me ideas to just play stuff I wouldn't play regularly. Yeah, these upgrades work quite decently. I feel a lot of performance increase here. I mean, the spells I equipped were even somewhat useful in higher difficulties, so I'm pretty sure they will be also useful now there. Okay, another nether boss. This is one of the realms where I usually got lots of problems because the enemies are just that friggin' tanky. Let's see how good we go here. Yeah. Same issue again. Let's go for a Cyclone Strike. Yeah. Finger of Death. It's a joke, isn't it? Massive damage? Well, might as well keep attacking. Alright. Memo to me, if attacks don't work, spells don't seem to work either. So Zay's idea with bringing just instant damage, instant kill effects seems to be quite interesting too. Yeah, they're just not dying that quickly, aren't they? But still going a lot better than my usual approaches in Gonforian's realm. I like that. Oh, that looks like a master. Oh no, that's just somebody giving me some loot. Nice. Oh, there's a nice nether realm. Ooh, slates. Monster knowledge time. I like these. Little bonus pockets. Crystal Dune Gemling. Sounds like sorcery. Well, it's just not able to take down things that are way more stronger than itself. And also I feel like enemies that can't be debuffed are should be totally ripping apart this build, for sure. This trolley vibe, yeah. Yeah, at the beginning I was kind of like insecure if we would be able to pull it up, pull it off, but now I'm not. My doubts have been dispersed. It's just insanely strong. New character class rocks, gotta say. Still not touching the diabolic horde thingies there. So let's see what the nether boss is up to. Azura Master. No clue how strong I am against the Azura so far. Got the feeling like I have fought them several times already. Yeah, Azura Master 4 already. I wasn't wrong about that. Ah, here we go. Let's see, Xerxes. A Mind Flayer. Let's see what's his special skill. After an enemy takes an action, they must take that same action for the rest of the battle. Well, okay. It's not really an issue here for me. Splat. Just a one-turn kill. Post-game mechanic, able to fuse character classes. Well, basically there is something like that. The Nobleman class allows you to fuse your class from all the perks that are available from the other classes. So it's not exactly what you're proposing, but I'm really curious how that works out. Yeah, the Nobleman sounds like a crazy thing, but you have to have unlocked all the other specializations before you can unlock the Nobleman. Let's check out how full is that goblet already. 63%. Now, I want to check out what new artifacts I have unlocked here. Xerxes' Brain. After this creature attacks, the enemy attacks itself as well. The amount of damage is based on this creature's attack. It's quite fitting. Vexed's Boldness increases your creature's maximum stat limit before they are subject to diminishing returns. I see. Creatures can cast boost spells without consuming charges. Well, Myrtle Shell sounds like something that really would solve a lot of problems. But I don't want to spend too much brimstone into this shop. It's very, very costly, and since I'm changing specializations that often, I don't really want to go down that way right now. So enemies are now level 750. My own critters are only level 560. Jeez. That level difference has become quite steep now. Oh, I forgot to upload yesterday's video on demand. Well, so yesterday's episode will be available a little bit later than usual. Yeah, I was for a long time at the same level of like my enemies as well, Joran. But I make the experience that it becomes less and less important. Look at that, we found a Crusader card. Hooray! Your creature's shelled buffs have a chance to persist after damage. As far as I remember, shelled was complete negation of damage for one time. For a single blow. That's sick. Well, like I said, Joran, once you are at the point where you have... where I want to deepen that thought a little bit, rather... That's what I was thinking. Once you are at the point where you can basically unlock all the perks for a class, or most of the perks, I made the experience that the enemy level turned to be less and less important, because you can build that insanely strong on the class's own mechanics that the enemy's level became less important after all. Because the base stat gain isn't that insane per level. I mean, I think at some point it will matter again a lot. I'm wondering already if I will have to grind at some point, but I actually do plan to grind quite soon again with the astrologer. Some cards, for example, or some materials with the... Weren't we talking about insane luck with card drops? Looks like your luck has stopped at my place. So, that's my third Zaraf. We're getting closer to the next one. Nice. So I can't remember that I already encountered a master on this level, so we're going to check that out. Apart from that, this is so much fun, actually. Guess I'll be using the Witch Doctor more often now. There are classes I like to use more and classes I like to use less. Breath of Life sounds like a life spell. Artifacts, yes, totally agree with you that artifacts and spells are seemingly very, very important for your creature's progression. Evoker, I don't think I tried it yet, to be quite honest. Say, did I? Wait a sec, give me a second. Did I play Evoker already? No, I didn't. So I can't really say something about it yet. Multicast spam. Sounds fun. Sounds definitely like a lot of fun. That's all I can say so far. I think you are not the first person recommending it as a really fun and effective strategy, actually. Can use all spell gems on any creature. Ah, that's nice. I always have to fiddle around a lot with the class swaps there, and the class swap materials are actually not that common after all. So, did I just already take down the master, or no? Here, Sanctus Master. I knew it was something. So good. These poor critters. That? Oh, free resources. Nice. I do like about this game a lot that you get so much stuff, but at the same time, the deeper you go in the game, the more you realize that you're actually quite grateful at some point about all the stuff you're being tossed in, that's being tossed into your way. Something I really like about this. I mean, there's literally no material where I'm like, well, I don't need granite anymore, or I don't need this anymore, because if I ever have an excess of any material, I'll just use it to transform it into the materials I have always not enough, aka Brimstone. Brimstone is for some reason some material I never got enough from. Alright, there's another tanky boy here, isn't it? Yeah. Piety points is a really painstakingly slow process. Gonna agree with you, Joran. I wonder if there are methods to quicken it up later in the game, but so far I totally agree there. Tavern points were notoriety, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, I'm quite okay with things in this game taking quite some time longer, because this way you got something that motivates you in the long run. I mean, these god artifacts, they sound super strong later down the road. I haven't equipped any yet, I keep forgetting them. Alrighty, Ash, sleep well. Thanks for hanging around. Catch you another time. So, really happy that I got so much good company regularly with you guys. Thanks so much for that. I remember when I started streaming, there was literally basically nobody here. And I gotta say, well, I'm quite good at talking to myself, but it's way more fun if you know that there are people actually watching. Okay. I wonder when the next wall of difficulty will approach. Because right now I feel like I'm just plowing through the enemies like crazy, and every somewhat mediocre to good idea works out to a degree that progression is not that hard. I mean, this idea seems to work out really strong, and it turns it into a no-brainer. But other options I tried out which weren't that good, or just still providing good progression. Your creature's minions have a 50% lower chance to go away. Oh, thanks, Vinmanen. I can only say it's really cool to not be at the beginning of my journey anymore, because I gotta say that was the most difficult part. Not giving up and not going crazy when you're just releasing work after work without anybody seemingly to care. That was a pretty hard thing there. I got myself the game. Mission accomplished. Happy that it seems to be something you want to play, Raju. I had a feeling like this might be up your alley. I got that feeling. Because you seemingly love to, you seem to love detailed and deep mechanic things, so... And I feel like the dev behind this game definitely deserves more attention. Yeah. Magic the Gathering, I was into that as well. But, well... I love MTG for what they're doing with it. They're still going strong. They're still doing such great work there, but it's so friggin' costly. It's like, man... These cards smell like dollar bills, you know? And what I really dislike about MTG is that, let's put it into one sentence, not all cards are created equally. And that's something I dislike a lot about it. Well, I wouldn't mind the power creep if it wouldn't mean that the powerful cards are super rare and extremely costly to acquire, and if you want to stay competitive you just have to pump in hundreds and thousands of dollars to just get there. Basically the only way to play MTG on a professional level is to turn yourself into tournament player. Otherwise you're just... I don't know, I couldn't make it up with myself to spend that much money into a hobby. I did that when I was a teenager, and then it was okay. At that time it was okay for me, because back in that time I didn't really have anything I needed to spend my money onto except for hobbies, and at that time it was perfectly okay. But when I started to be a grown-up that has to worry about bills and such, it's just too much. Digital formats, yeah, I tried, but it's the same cash grab over there as well. You need to invest money to get playing there, and that's why I dropped it. Yeah, Razul, I totally dig that. Yeah, and then there's the tryhards here, and then there's the tryhards. People that just seem to enjoy the game only if every match is decided between in the first 2 to 10 turns, depending on the strategy. Some strategies just nail you down after 2 turns, and that was... Yeah, you can play like that, but I always felt like that's something I would do if I would play in a tournament environment. I had a ton of cards as well, and I was so close to turn myself into a professional second-hand card trader. I actually had a eBay shop running and all that. I already had a logistics running. I just didn't have the money to get the ball rolling, but I was really that close to. So I really know my way around Magic. Yeah, well, if the first 5 turns utterly suck, yeah, that's true. But there are just builds that are just so friggin' optimized around certain combos that if you can draw, like, let's say, 3 or 4 important cards for that deck, it doesn't matter if you don't have other things on your hand or not. If you have these cards and the mana to play them, you just get your thing going. And the casual players don't stand a chance against that. And I was always a friend of casual formats. We did a lot. My favorite was to just get into that extremely large box of commons that I had as a trader, and everybody was allowed to build a deck out of commons and uncommons, and that's that. Nothing more than that. Just commons and uncommons. And a couple of crap rares that I was not really selling at that point. Why is this build not aimed at the enemy by default? Come on. What is this? I do like to play casually, but I also like to, yeah. Yeah, Rajul, I'm the same like that. I really like to go for efficiency, but if I play just with friends to just chill and have fun, I don't want to play to try hard. It always depends on the enemy and the occasion, I'd say. Just write a macro for my minions? Well, I would write macros if I would be using the formations more often that I'm playing, but since I'm swapping formations basically with every stream I go for, macros are hard to define, because I always have kind of a different strategy in it. But I would actually do that if I had a strategy running more often. That's the curse of the showcasing player, you know. It's awesome because you get to try out all these things, but also you have a lot more trouble organizing yourself. The only macro I use is a revive when a monster dies. Yeah, that's a nice idea too. I started diving into the macros when I realized that it's a little bit problematic, but Hyorin is actually right. I could think about macros that are universal. Hi Elpaid, welcome! Nice to see you, man. Yeah, you can do wonderful things with the macros in this game. Yeah, you're a little bit late today, but I'm also a little bit longer online today, so seems like things fit together here. Ugh. Seriously, that guy is tough as nails. Let's see, I want to see how much buff the Savage Roar actually does. It's such a weak buff. Like, really? I expected so much more from that spell. Well. But the Spider Realm is notorious for the for its spawning of mimics, so probably should stay away from that. Mimics are really a problem because they always appear as single target enemies. Well, I do love spammy builds, and therefore macros should be something I want to use way more, actually. There we go. Ow! They're hurting me. There we go. Oh, I already donated. Oops. So I was wondering if I should do one day in the near or far future something like a 12-hour streaming feature. Would anybody of you guys like something like that? Because I've seen that as something that other Twitch streamers do, and I want to promote my channel a little bit more and get the ball rolling here a little bit harder, and I was wondering what I could do to get that going. So Vinmanen does like the idea. Nice. Just needs to be prepared for us. Don't think that I can do that often. Got chronic insomnia. Oh, dang. You poor. Luckily, that's one thing I am not suffering from. I am always a person that... My creativity helps me sleep. Basically, when I can't sleep, I start telling myself a story from my... Or I start thinking about my RPG stories for my pen and paper groups, and sooner or later I fall asleep over that. You would enjoy a longer stream for sure, yeah. Well, lately I am preparing more and more material. Like, I'm recording more material than I'm able to publish per day, and well, the chaos at home is subsiding slowly. It merely takes up to 12 hours to fall asleep. Oh man. That sounds exhausting. Grimoire Master. Okay. Wow. It's just slamming these guys. So, long story short, I think I will be able to stream some more in the near future. Well, luckily I had never problems with insomnia, but what I did have problems with were severe nightmares. Like, that kind of nightmares where you just feel like crap the whole day, and where you get even emotional flashbacks the whole day. That was something I had. Really sensitive to sound and vibrations. Dang. Okay, interesting. I've had a couple of years where I was suffering from really devastating nightmares. Up to the point that I was afraid of falling asleep. But, well, I do know where it came from. There we go, the goblet is full. Now, let's see what kind of rewards we gain. Piety. Diabolic Henchman, Steam-Powered Pillwiz, Eternal Crown. Start of battle, this creature gains maximum health equal to 5% of your other creature. What the heck? It's powerful. Well, getting past things in my life helped me. It was just a PTSD thing. Post-traumatic stress. Not cool, but well. It's just a way of your psyche of getting rid of old problems. Inquisitor. Seriously? Nice. Okay, so don't take any meds. Yeah. Yeah. You sound a lot like me there. I really can dig what you're saying there, Razul. So most meds are also that powerful that they really influence your life a lot. Just hope that you will find a solution to that problem one day and find some peaceful sleep again for yourself, because everybody deserves some good sleep. Judging from what I've seen so far from your personality type, you seem to be thinking a ton. Well, I never wanted to take meds against my other psychic problems, and I gotta say I don't regret what I did there. I was suffering from chronic depression for 2 decades basically. And I never wanted to go on medications for that, because, you know, I've seen other people on these medications and the side effects were just that severe And, well, I didn't want that. I wanted to solve my problems without medications. And, well, it took quite a time, but it went all well in the end. And judging from what also was turning me down was that a lot of psychotherapists are just guessing with the medications they give you. They're just like analyzing your symptoms, and then they're like, probably that's wrong in your brain. Let's try that. And that was just too spooky for me. I don't want to mess around with my brain juices like dilly-dally like that. Maybe I'm a little bit eccentric, but yeah, that's exactly the problem, Huron. It makes life dull. It dulls down life, and I don't think that this is really the solution to your problems, because that's only... I mean, if your psychic problems are that heavy that you can't even live with them anymore, I think that's when medications are absolutely right. But as long as somebody wants to pick up the fight and don't dull himself down, I don't think that medications are necessarily the right way. But that's just me. I'm not a doctor, I'm just a victim. Ailmentals. We're against the ailmentals. It's not elementals, it's ailmentals. Cool. Now we're seeing them in action. Alright, we got it. So, Sigil of the Elementals. At the start of battle, your Elementals gain 2 random boost spells. Cool. Ale, like in beer. Vodka, Vulpari, Whiskull. I love those enemies. Yeah, if you are suffering from just chemical unbalances, and that's the problem where I really feel like that's where everybody has to choose for himself, because I always feel like you are the best doctor for yourself. If you have a feeling like you need to take these meds because it helps you, you should. There was a woman I met. She was suffering from depressions, and the medications helped her a ton. And that's when I was noticing that people are so different. Even when they're suffering from the same problems, it's amazing. And she was always saying that for her it was just a chemical unbalance. She didn't really have any problems in her life that gave her any reason to be depressive. So life is a very, very complex thing. Major depressive disorder is a catch-all, honestly. There are definitely cases demonstrable to... Yeah, and that's treating it the same is a bad choice. Katarina, so what's that? The most important thing, though, what I found out for myself, is to find a doctor which you can trust and which gives you a feeling that you are in good hands. If you don't have that feeling, you should be really looking for somebody else. After your creatures take damage, they become invisible and gain shelled. Okay, that would be a problem for us if we weren't running Flood of Darkness. I'm just happy that I finally found a way of tackling the depression for me. Gleaming Ornament. Ooh, another slot thingy. But it's not really good. Well, there are really, really sincere doctors out there, and there are doctors that treat their patients like... I don't know how to call it. I would need to check out the word in English, but I've encountered some doctors that were like treating me like I wasn't able to to make decisions for my life on my own anymore because I was ill. And that was something I really felt bad with there. Wow, I really don't like to remember the sessions with that doctor. Because she was treating me like, yeah, you are confused. You're insane. You don't know what you're talking. Always that attitude that really is making me angry until this very day. To remember that wasn't really a good time. That's why I'm emphasizing it so much, because I met other wonderful people. Paternalism. Thanks. Yeah. Following the doctor algorithm. Well, I only hope that we're steering into a future where this field of medicine is going to be more and more developed. Because I gotta say, 100 years ago we were locking up people that were depressive or even suffering from epilepsy into houses where they were just treated randomly with electroshocks or locked up in cages or all these funny things. Luckily, 100 years later, we are at least past that. Medical advance needs time. That's one thing I really keep saying myself, you know. Why are they not dying, though? Are they unable to kill each other? What's wrong with you guys? Alright. Let's call down some AoEs, shall we? Yeah, they're somehow not able to kill each other. Fun. Never had that before. They're noping out on these spells there. Yeah, I think there's no standardized psychological illness. It's just not how it works. What's going on here? Why is when your creatures heal an enemy, why is nothing dying here? Nature transformation. So who's life transformation? I don't really understand where the healing comes from. Just know that it's starting to annoy me. So let's take down that guy. I got the feeling like this might solve my problem somewhat. I don't understand where this what this nature transformation thing does, because the creator of that that trait is already dead. Oh no, here. When your creatures deal damage to each other, they are instead healed. It's exactly the countering trait. So we have to take down that bully here. Got it. There we go. Schizophrenia treatment is mostly standardized at this point. Yeah, that's that was a big problem in my family. That was a really big problem, because my mom was suffering from paranoid schizophrenia, and there was just no help for her. She lost faith in doctors altogether. Totally. Because exactly these stupid standardized things that were just never a help for her. And that was really ended just in a lifelong vicious cycle of addictions and other problems that really ruined our lives a lot. But I guess there were no better people around there, so can't change that. Just feeling very sorry for her until this very day. She passed away a couple of years, like 6 years ago, so just in case you're wondering. She got past that, actually, at some point in her life, but yeah, well, still shaped her life forever. Yeah, well. Truly unfortunate, but she was a wonderful and kind person, nevertheless. It was just, a part of her which I didn't like too much in my life. But that was not her fault. That's something that took a while for me to understand, but I did understand eventually. Tanukruk. Okay. The Tanukruk is killing all other creatures and gains stats of those, so we're going to... didn't want to defend there. It's going to be really difficult for this setup here. Let's keep the Savage Roars up. Can we dispel anything? No, but I should resurrect my fellas here as much as I can. Like, am I even realizing... Is there even any increase of damage here? Like, creatures gain a massive amount of attack. Okay. Well, Finger of Death didn't even touch that guy. Okay, it's now recognizable. It seems like there is just a certain threshold you need to beat. Sorry to hear that, judging by the technological advances in various fields. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I hope so. I really hope so, because mental disorders are, until this very day, among the most difficult things to get past. But I honestly feel like the most important thing to me would be that society would be a little bit less harsh to people that are suffering from mental disorders, because there's just so often that sentiment that people that are suffering from that are in any way, like, well, like it's their own fault that they are suffering. I have that sentiment so often from people that are just not suffering from psychological disorders. They were like, come on, if you would just if you would just take your meds, if you just would go to the doctor, if you would just pull yourself a little bit better together, and so on and so forth. That's just so bad. And I keep encountering that kind of behavior so often. The stigma, yeah, it's just annoying. Makes you want to punch people. Seriously, makes you want to punch people. But, well, I guess that's just people's way of keeping things away from them that they can't understand, but I feel like in the 21st century, we should be better than that. But, you know, I'm not sad about all these things anymore. I'm really fine with that, with all these topics. I'm so happy that I finally am able to live my life like the way I want to. And I mean, sure, I got some special problems, and nobody else has these, but you know, everybody has his special problems in a way. That's why it's okay. Finger of Death is completely useless. Massive amount of damage. Although, I gotta say, 20 years of chronic depressive disorder were really no walk in the park. For a longer period of my life, I was afraid that I will never find a spot in my life where I can be actually happy. That was the really most brutal part. I was always underwhelmed by that gem. Well, I hope that the game at some point will stop making such obscure statements. Massive amount of damage. Can we please get some percentage off the user's intelligence stat or something like that? Something which us stat nerds can calculate upon? Give me numbers, exactly. So, where didn't I go yet? Down there. Alrighty, so after that realm, I'm going to log off for tonight. It's been a really, really cool time, and I enjoyed the chat. And I'd say, well, I'll keep that idea in mind to make a longer stream happening. I mean, today we already at least broke the 2-hour mark. That's a good start. And yeah, judging from what I've seen, you guys are really open for longer streams, so we're going to get there sooner or later. So, good night to everybody. Whoever is not following my channel yet, please drop me a follow. It would be deeply appreciated. And beyond that, you guys were a awesome company tonight, and really that was a wholesome chat for me. I enjoyed my time a lot tonight. I hope you guys did as well. See you soon tomorrow. Bye-bye.